Hayley Watson founded Code Like a Girl to increase the representation of women in tech and inspire future generations of girls. Speaking as a millennial entrepreneur, she questions the social implications of tech, as well as laments the importance of following those whom you admire the most.
So I made this meetups group, just put it online, and I really wasn't expecting it to be an event. Like, I just thought it would be a meetup and like really intimate, but instead it like just grew in popularity, and 100 people turned up at that first event. So many women who were just like me, who had spent, you know, their whole careers outside the comfort zone. After that point, like, I knew that there was something special there. Yep. And I knew that, like, meeting these girls and talking to them and finding out what they wanted and what they needed, that there was more to Code Like a Girl, or there could be more. So this was all new, and it was like, it was almost just like someone took my head and just moved it and was like, this is your new direction, and I fell in love with it. And from different phases of my life, I've had different superheroes. I've had different people who I've got something from when I really needed it. Like when I was at university, it was my mum. When I was in my career, it was a programmer called Linda Lucas. And now that I'm a business owner, I've been doing, like, I mean, my mentors and role models and superheroes like really evolve depending on what stage I'm at. I think in order to scale and grow something to the size I want Code Like a Girl to be, I have to start thinking like, okay, I'm making this decision today, but who can make it tomorrow, and what can I do to give them like all of the tools they need? I'm very much a believer in like work-life balance. Typical millennial. But for me, when I'm well rested and well fed and in a good frame of mind, man, I can do so much. Like I'm a much better worker, a much better colleague, a much better friend. Like, make sure that you plan ahead and dedicate time to yourself and be kind to yourself. This is not a new thing. Generations before have always kind of scorned the younger generation. There was a study, late 1700s, where it was an exact quote of them like scorning the generation before them, self-entitled, and the criticisms are really similar as well. But if I had to look at this huge generation, it is hard to pinpoint traits. I think negatively, the Instagram world and this kind of strong imagery that we see about, you know, these perfectly looking people with these perfect lifestyles, and I think that will definitely have kind of bad consequences to it, and we'll probably see an increase of depression and people with mental health issues. All these consequences of, like, you know, these addictive technologies. You know, you see on Instagram it has the little love heart, and that's like casino. You know, it's like they're playing on our addictions. And Netflix, one more video, next episode. It's kind of scary, but also I think that as humans we'll always make sure that we fix this stuff before we move on. And I think once we start understanding the problem, we can then work with it and provide more solutions. I do have full faith in humanity. Yeah. How long were cigarettes on market before they discovered that this was an addiction, before they discovered the solution? And I think it's just a matter of time. I think we still form in them in the same way, it's just we're using a different medium for it. And so I think it's easy for older generations to mock the medium that we're using, but I don't think the connections are any less different. There's definitely some truth to the short attention span. I don't think it's just millennials though. I think it's the consequences of technology and how we use it. They're facing so much change in the workforce. There's so much jobs that were so freely available to the older generations but are now being replaced by automation and machine learning. All these routine jobs, which I don't know if anybody wanted them anyway, but they have such a different landscape of employment. I think the meeting point is having a very people-centric workforce. I think using technology to enable remote working, to enable flexibility, being inclusive, I think that is the future. For me, it's not about, you know, owning a business. It's not about having a legal structure or governance in there. It's about, I think for me, it's more of a mindset. It's more of a, what am I trying to achieve and am I doing something about it? There's such a cool fail culture, which I love, because I think if you don't have a safe place to fail, you're never going to come up with these ideas. You learn by failing. And I think that for me, it's definitely been at the rate of attempts for sure. I think the same way about entrepreneurship as I do about coding. Like, I'd rather see people with a very strong interest in some area and then having an add-on as coding, and then they can like bring something really new to the table rather than just being about tech and coding. There's no doubt in my mind that we will always have control as humans. Us as humans, like, you know, we keep people at the centre of us. We love and we are empathetic, and we can't let fear hold us back from progressing with technology, using AI as an assistant to make us more productive, to make us more efficient, to make us more human, because we don't want to do the routine jobs and we don't want to do the dangerous jobs. We should be more human, we should look after ourselves, and I think AI can really take away those kind of parts that, you know, why would you want a job that isn't human, that you are just doing routine stuff? Like, we've got so much more potential than that.
Nice. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
That was
That was cool.